And Commitment 2024 coverage today marks day 2 of the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee, where nearly 2,500 delegates from across the country are attending. Joining us now from the RNC is Pennsylvania's highest-ranking Republican and delegate, Senator Kim Ward. Senator, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, it's very nice to be here.
Talk to us about the moment former President Trump walked into that convention last night, less than 48 hours after a near assassination attempt. What was that like for you to see?
There was electricity in that stadium. It was just electric, and you felt so patriotic because here's the president after what just had happened, and how after losing an innocent bystander, Corey, and they were playing, proud to be an American. It was really I don't even know how to explain it. It was a wonderful, good feeling.
And everyone was eagerly waiting to see who the VP pick would be. A lot of names are being tossed around, and 39-year-old Ohio Senator J.D. Vance is now Trump's running mate, which is interesting because Vance was once a critic of Trump. So did that come as a surprise to you? And why do you think the former president saw Vance as the best choice?
Well, he's been on the short list for quite a while, at least rumored to be. I think he was a good choice because he's the American dream. I think people are able to connect to him. They get it. It's something I see with President Trump that I never understood, because here he is, so successful, but able to reach people at their kitchen tables. And I think that's what Senator Vance brings. He brings realism to the people that we're asking to vote for him.
And after the attempted assassination, Democrats and President Biden, as you know, have been calling to calm the violent rhetoric and to stand united, especially against gun violence. How is that being received at the RNC? What's the tone there?
Well, so the tone is unification here, and we should all just be united. We're the United States. We're resilient. President Trump, I mean, he just exemplifies that resilience. He stands up. He just gets his shot. He puts his fist in the air. I mean, that is strength. And that is what our nation needs. I think that he's the kind of leader that we need to have again. A strong, resilient leader that will continue to fight no matter what for America.
And of course, this is a pivotal time for the Republican Party. Talk to us about some of the main topics we'll hear this week. Does everyone feel like the party is moving in the right direction?
Well, here, of course, everyone does. We are all Trump delegates here. And I think that the party's talking about things that matter to people. They're talking about, the border. We're talking about people's kitchen tables, paying your electric bill. I always say President Biden closed the pipelines and opened the border. So those were jobs, those were energy, those were prosperity for Pennsylvanians. And President Trump and what he stands for does all that. He will bring prosperity back to Pennsylvania and to the nation by just common sense. Let's just, that border is a terrible, terrible sieve of whoever wants to come through. We don't know who's here. We don't know. And it's scary. I went to the border myself about a year and a half ago, and it was just a really frightening, sad thing to see happening.
Yeah, I'm bringing it home now. If elected, how do you think, continue that conversation, Pennsylvanians right here will benefit from a Trump-Vance ticket?
Well, Pennsylvania is sitting on one of the greatest pots of natural resources in the country and even in the world. And we've been, they've closed our pipelines down. We're going to unleash the promise that we have in Pennsylvania to create jobs, create prosperity. People's electric bills are high because of some of these decisions that have been made in the Biden administration. We want to have everything electric. Well, electricity comes from coal, guys. They've closed down our coal-fired power plants. They've instead of saying we have room for all energy in this country and in this state, they've said we only really want some energy. And that hurts Pennsylvania because we're sitting on coal, gas. We are set to really take off if we're given the opportunity to do that again.
All right, Senator Ward, thank you so much for joining us and for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.